Okay, today we're going to talk about meal planning for 80-day obsession using the portion control containers. I know they look really tiny, but I promise you when you pack them with food and then you dump them out on a plate, it's going to be a lot of food, more than enough. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to print out your worksheet to find your calorie target. So you are going to find your weight, and then you're going to do this calculation, and at the end of it, if you're wanting to lose weight, you'll come up with your calorie target. If you're wanting to maintain your weight, you're going to use the maintenance calories number. So for me, I am at a 1434 calorie target. So page 2 of my worksheet, that puts me in plan A. It's really important that you weigh yourself maybe weekly, definitely at the beginning of each phase, to find out if you're still in the same meal plan, because your weight is going to fluctuate during this program, so you might actually be eating under your calorie baseline. So basically in your program materials, you're going to have your meal plans. I'm using the vegan meal plan A. The food lists are a little different to the regular plan A. So I will talk you through how that looks. So first of all, we're looking at our food lists. So we have greens, those are our veggies. We have purples, those are our fruits. We have reds, those are our proteins. We have yellows. Yellows for the vegan plan are split up into two different kinds, yellow A's and yellow B's. Your yellow A's are your whole grains like quinoa, rice, oatmeal, farro, that kind of stuff. And then your yellow B's are your starches, so sweet potato, yams, couscous, cereal, bread, tortillas. Obviously, like the stuff at the top of the list is the most nutritionally valuable, the most nutritious and healthy. So you want to eat from the top of the list as often as possible. You will see things like bagels and English muffins and stuff allowed in the plan, but you shouldn't have those every time you're allowed a yellow, because they're not as nutritionally valuable as, say, a sweet potato. Okay, so those are your food lists. What I like to do is I like to go down the food lists and I like to cross out all the things that I've never heard of or that I don't like, and I make myself a new list of just the foods that I'm most likely to eat. So it's kind of narrowed it down. Okay, so the next thing that you want to look at is your meal plan A. All right, so meal plan A, here it tells me exactly how many containers to have. So I have 6 greens, 2 purples, 4 reds, 1 yellow A, 1 yellow B, 1 blue, 1 orange, and 3 teaspoons. So this is for the day. And then the timed nutrition plan is going to show you how to use the containers and combine those containers for meals throughout the day. Okay, so there's 2 ways that you can do your meal plan. We're going to talk about the meal plan A, and these are our container counts. So when you look at your timed nutrition meal plan, you're going to see here that you have what's called a workout block. So this all depends on what time you're going to decide to do your workout. So if you decide to work out in the morning, then your pre-workout meal will most likely be your breakfast. If you're going to work out in the evening, then your pre-workout meal might be your lunch. So I'm, for this exercise, going to work out in the morning. So you'll see here that 60 to 90 minutes before your workout, you want to have your pre-workout meal, which for me is a green, a red, a yellow, and a teaspoon. So one way you could do this is you could just look at this food list and you could put things together from this list. So I could say, okay, I want to do a tofu scramble. So I'll take a red of tofu, crumble that up in the pan with a green of some veggies, like some mushrooms and tomatoes, and then a yellow bee, maybe some sweet potato, and I'll use olive oil as my teaspoon and make a tofu scramble. So that's something that I made up. It's something that works really well with this meal plan, and I really like it, so I could see myself having it for breakfast every morning. If you're completely stuck what I'd like to do is look through the 80-day obsession approved recipes on Fixate cooking channel. So they have a PDF, you can print out these recipes. This is an 80-day approved recipe on Fixate, and it works really well for my meal plan because you see here it's a half a green, half a red, a half a yellow, half a teaspoon, and that is 4 souffles. So if I double this serving, then that's my pre-workout meal sorted out right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my basis to start off with. So get a piece of paper, and I'm gonna say meal 1, and I'm gonna say vegan souffles. I'm gonna put 8 of them in there so I don't forget to double it. Okay, so that's gonna be 60 to 90 minutes before I work out, and then 30 minutes before I work out, I'm gonna have my Beachbody Energize to give me a little bit of energy to get going in the morning, and then I'm gonna do my workout, which is usually about an hour. Some of the workouts are less, but just allow for an hour because you need to get set up and you need some time afterwards to log your workout, etc. Okay, so after a workout, within 30 minutes, which is really important, you want to have your post-workout snack that has protein in it, so it's going to help your muscles recover from the workout you just did. So right here for me, I've got a red and a purple. So this is actually going to work really well with my Shakeology because my Shakeology counts as a red, as you can see here from my list. So I'll do Shakeology. I have the vegan vanilla flavor, and it's going to go with a half a frozen banana. You'll see on your food lists a whole banana counts as 2 fruits, depending on the size. Obviously, if you have really small bananas, then you could possibly do 2 small bananas as a fruit each. I'm going to mix this with water and ice. All right, so then the following meal is going to be my post-workout meal. So let's call this meal number 2, and then meal number 3 is my post-workout meal. So that's going to be a green, a red, and a yellow A. All right, so I'm going to start off with my green. I will do some salad greens. And then my red, I'm going to do some chickpeas. And my yellow A, I'm going to do some quinoa. All right, so now I need some kind of like dressing or something. I can either use vinegar and lemon juice and things like that that are free, or you can also look on Fixate. There's a bunch of free foods. This is a vegan Fixate ranch dressing, which is a free food. I'm going to substitute the Greek yogurt for vegan coconut yogurt so that it is still in the vegan plan. So I'm going to say Fixate ranch. So that's a free food. Awesome. Okay, so moving on. So now we've done our workout block. Anything from here on out, you can eat these meals in whatever order you want to. So meal number 4 is going to kind of be more of like a snack. And I'm going to do a green, so I'm going to do celery and peanut butter because those go really well together, and that will be this meal right here. All right, then maybe in 2 to 3 hours, I'm a little hungry again. So meal number 5, I'm going to do a green, so I'm going to do baby carrots. Spelling. Baby carrots and a blue of hummus. So that's that meal right there. All right, meal number 6 is probably going to be my dinner at this point. So this one I have more containers. I have a purple, a red, an orange, and a green. So I need to think about how I can make something that goes together with all those containers. So I can look on Fixate and see if there's any recipes that they suggest, or I can just make something up. So on the meal plan, you'll see that marinara sauce actually counts as a fruit. So I'm going to use that as my purple because I only had a half a banana earlier, so I still have my purple. So I'm going to do marinara, And because I can't have pasta, because I don't have a yellow here, I can do a vegetable pasta. So I'm going to do zucchini noodles. Okay, and then for my protein, I can either do like a mock meat, like tofu mince, or I can do lentils. I like to stick to whole foods, so I'm gonna do lentils as my like bolognese. And then an orange, I think olives would go really well. You get 10 olives for an orange, because obviously they don't all fit in the container. So yeah, that's gonna be a nice dinner. All right, then I still have one more meal, believe it or not, which is another green and another teaspoon. So meal number 7, I'm gonna do some peppers. And I think I have another Fixate recipe somewhere around here that actually counts as a teaspoon. Oh yeah, here it is. This vegan Fixate nacho cheese dip. It counts as 3 teaspoons, which is approximately 2 tablespoons. Counts as 3 teaspoons. So I would just divide this serving up into 3, and then that would be my 1 teaspoon. There might be a different Fixate sauce that counts as 1 teaspoon, like a ranch or a tzatziki or something that I could do. So for, you know, variety, you could switch it out. So this is going to be Fixate vegan nacho cheese dip. Okay, so there's my 7 meals. So as you'll see, it's small meals, but frequently throughout the day. If you're gonna do your workout, obviously later on in the day or at night, you're gonna look at the different workout block examples. So you have a morning workout block, you have a midday workout block, or you have an evening workout block. So in the evening, let's just say you're working out at 6 p.m., your pre-workout meal would be like a late lunch or an early dinner. And then after your workout, you would have your shake most likely, and then a small little like post-workout meal before you go to bed. So then you can kind of mix it up, like for breakfast and lunch. You know, these meals, you can shuffle them around in a different order. Like I've done them in the order that they're listed, but you could mix them around and do them however you want to. Another way that you could do a nutrition meal plan if you don't want to follow the timed nutrition because you just don't feel like that can work for you because it's just too strict, too confining. I totally get it. There is another version of the Ultimate Portion Fix that is just called Portion Fix. It's not timed nutrition. So you would still do your same calculation. You still need to find your calorie target. You still need to find your meal plan. And when you look at your meal plan, it's probably going to be the same amount of containers. The difference is you're now able to combine these containers however you want throughout the day. So you'd still start out with your container numbers. And the way I like to do this is I like to write them down. So I've got 6 greens, and then I've got 2 purples, I have 4 reds, I have a yellow A, I have a yellow B, I have a blue, I have an orange, and I have 3 teaspoons. Okay, so then I start creating, and I say, breakfast. What do I want for breakfast? Well, I think I'm going to do that tofu scramble that I love so much. So in my tofu scramble, I'm going to do some mushrooms, some spinach, and a couple of tomatoes. I'm going to do some sweet potato, and I'm going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to saute the tofu scramble. So basically, I'm now going to cross off a red for my tofu. I'm going to cross off a green for my vegetables, and I'm going to cross off a yellow B for my sweet potato, and I'm going to cross off a teaspoon for my olive oil. All right, so that's breakfast. For lunch, I'm going to keep it super easy because I don't have a lot of time to meal prep and cook and clean. So I'm just going to do Shakeology for lunch. Shakeology. I'm going to do 8 ounces of almond milk. With that, I'm going to do a whole frozen banana to give it some nice sweetness and some texture. I'm also going to do a cup of the frozen cauliflower rice. Spelling again, sorry. Cauliflower rice. And I'm also going to do a cup of spinach. So I'm sneaking some veggies into my shake because it's going to be so sweet from the banana and the Shakeology that I won't even taste it. And that way I'm getting like a nice smoothie texture from the frozen cauliflower, and I'm getting lots of extra nutrition and fiber from the vegetables. So I'm going to cross off red for Shakeology. Almond milk counts as a teaspoon, 8 ounces. Be careful you don't over pour yourself. A frozen banana is going to count as 2 purples. The frozen cauliflower is a green. The spinach is a green. All right, so that's lunch. All right, now moving on to dinner. I like to do bowls. Bowls are super easy because you can meal prep a bunch of stuff and then you can just construct them every night. And you can kind of get really creative. So one of my favorites is a burrito bowl. It's basically a burrito deconstructed in a bowl without the wrap. So we're going to start off with some brown rice. And we're going to do some black beans. We are going to use some shredded lettuce, some romaine, and definitely some avocado. I'm also going to do a bit of some tofu, some seared tofu. And then I'm going to do like a combination of fajita veg. So that'll be mushrooms, peppers, and onion. And I'm going to use a little bit of oil to saute the fajita veg in. And then I'm going to put some pico de gallo on there as well. So the brown rice counts as your yellow A. The black beans count as a red. The lettuce will count as a green. The avocado is a blue. The tofu is a red. And then the fajita veg, I'm going to do a nice, like, generous portion. So it's probably going to be 2 containers of green. I like to count the vegetables in the containers before I cook them, because when you cook vegetables, they reduce so much. So you want to make sure that you're not overeating because you've condensed your vegetables down by cooking them. So I measure them before I cook them. And then the extra virgin olive oil counts as my teaspoon. I still have 1 orange left. So orange is always an interesting one. You can look at your Fixate recipes, like your sauces, and see like maybe there's a fun sauce that you could throw on the burrito bowl that counts as your orange. Or you could just say, what else can I stick into my shake? So like chia seeds would be a really easy thing to just chuck in your shake. So now you have an orange. All right, so there you go. That's your meal plan. And you know, obviously you can get super creative. You could have oatmeal for breakfast with fruit, and then you would switch up the other meals. It's so nice to have this system where you cross them out as you go, so you know like what you have left to keep creating. And I just put this up on my fridge so that I know every day what I'm having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I use this list to go shopping with. I make a grocery list. I know exactly what to buy, how much to buy. Nothing goes to waste. I do that on a Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll spend a little bit of time making my rice, you know, draining and rinsing my beans, chopping my lettuce, chopping my fajita veg, and putting everything in Tupperwares in the fridge so that it's all ready to go. So that in the morning when you wake up, you don't have to think about it, it's just there. Okay, so that is how I meal plan and meal prep and write out my meal plans. You know, these containers this program was designed to go with these containers. These workouts are pretty hard, and you know, you're training like an athlete, and so this program was designed to fuel your body like an athlete, to help you have the energy to do these hard workouts, to recover from these hard workouts. And so I highly recommend it. When I did it the first time, I went all in and I meal planned, I meal prepped, and I ate the containers like I would say 90% correctly. Like I had a little margarita every now and then, but for the most part I was pretty strict and I did the best I could. If you don't want to do the meal plan because you're just not interested, or you just don't have the time, or you're just not in a place where you have like the means to do it, I totally get it. I have done Beachbody programs where I just did the workout part of it. I didn't do the nutrition because I was on the road traveling all the time. I was at the mercy of whatever food I could find in an airport or from catering. And so I just did the workouts and I didn't do the meal plan. And I felt great. I got really strong. I felt amazing. But when I got to the end of the program, I didn't see these dramatic results. Like I felt great. But when you look at the before and after pictures, or you look at your measurements, or you look at the number on the scale, for the most part, it just stayed the same. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Like being able to maintain a healthy weight and fit into your clothes and feel good, that's still a great thing. But if your goal is to have dramatic results, if your goal is to lose, say, 10 pounds or whatever, I really recommend doing the eating plan, because at the end of it, when you look back and you go, wow, I worked so hard for 80 days and you didn't do the meal plan, you're going to think, oh, what if I had done the meal plan? Like, what could I have achieved then? So, from my own personal experiences, I have done programs that were 100 days long and I didn't do the meal plan. And while I felt great, at the end, I thought to myself, gosh, I just worked so hard for 100 days and I kind of just stayed the same. Like, imagine what I could have done if I had followed the meal plan. These meal plans definitely work. I have done programs that were 3 weeks long and I followed the container system to the letter and my results were incredible. So I'm a huge advocate for these containers. They definitely work. But, part of the, I guess the fear is that it's a lot of work to do all this shopping, all this meal prep, all this planning. And it is, but you kind of get into the routine after a couple of weeks and then it just becomes second nature. You'll hear Autumn say this over and over again on this program, that being prepared isn't half the battle, it is the battle. And it is so true that I wrote it out and I stuck it on my fridge, because when I've worked so hard on a Sunday to make all this food and I know that it's sitting in my fridge, every time I'm tempted to eat something that's not on the plan, I think to myself, did you really just work so hard in the kitchen all day on Sunday to make all this food and now you're not going to eat it, or you're going to eat something else instead? Nah, you're not going to do that. And so it really helped me stick to the plan. I have immersed myself in this Ultimate Portion Fix and done the course, so I have a lot of answers to a lot of questions that I never had before. I had a lot of questions in the beginning, and I'm sure there are probably a lot of the same questions that you have. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and hopefully we can figure it out together.